All right, hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to continue with deism, which I would say generally is a monotheistic sort of idea. Now, I don't believe deism is really a religion, but what it is the idea of a God who created, usually one God who created, and then sort of lost interest in his creation and doesn't really care and sort of walked away. Sometimes this is related to what we might call the watchmaker theory, where if you're walking along a beach and you see this beautiful pocket watch that was intricately crafted, clearly by hand, are you going to look at it and say, well, hey, that just fell together by random chance because of the ocean and all of the, all that metal just existed in the ocean. And I don't know, through some miraculous set of processes, it just fell together. No, you look at something that's designed, you know it's designed, and yet it is left there on the beach alone. So it had a designer, and that designer said, I'm out of here. See you later. And so this is sort of the idea that how would I say, from a religious standpoint, it is the father who, created a child and then left the child and abandoned it. And that's kind of what we see in the idea of deism. And I want to build on that just a little bit more. When we're talking about a deistic God, we are not talking about a pantheistic God that is all. Okay, we are talking about the Western conception of God where God is a person and has personhood and can have a relationship but does not want it. Okay, so I would say generally, and I could be wrong. If I am, please let me know in the comments if you know of something that is different. I am not aware of really any deistic religions. Um, Generally, deism is going to be more of a philosophical standpoint because if you are a deist and you really do believe there's a God out there, but he's not loving and he doesn't care about us, he just sort of created the universe and then took off and did his own thing. I mean, look around, look at all the bad stuff happening, and things are falling apart. A real loving father would not be allowing these things to happen, and therefore there's a God who doesn't care about us. Well, are you really going to serve that God? Are you really going to go out of your way to change your life for this type of God that's not present? Well, not really. So you might believe in it. Is it really a religion? Not really. There aren't really any rules. Just do what you want. He's not around. Um, so it seems to me that this is a bit more of a philosophical position. I think that maybe a lot of agnostics. And when we're talking about agnosticism, I'm just going to redefine that. It means no knowledge. I don't really know what I believe. Sometimes you'll see agnostics being more deistic in nature. They're like, well, yeah, I mean, I believe there could be a God, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, he doesn't talk to me. And so that's maybe more agnosticy, deisticy in nature, I guess. And so they're not really going to have any motivation without any personal experience with God to really take any hard stances or really dig it out and discover who God is, because he's not around, doesn't really care. There doesn't seem to be any natural connection for that individual. So this is deism. It's about a God who created and then sort of just walked away from his creation, generally more philosophical in nature and less religious, but I'm not going to say that that's a hard and fast. There may be deistic religions. I'm just not exactly aware of what they are. Lastly, I'll add this. I suppose it is possible to have a sort of polytheistic, deistic religion or philosophy, I guess. In this case, if you're thinking polytheism is deistic, which this is very unusual, I don't think I'm aware of any religions that are like this. You have a whole bunch of gods who somehow created and then all of them checked out. I suppose you could have that in theory, but I don't think there are any, at least that I am aware of. So generally, again, it's going to be a monotheistic religion where God created, took off, doesn't care. You don't really have any relationship with this God, but he is still all powerful and all knowing, and maybe all of the things that we would think of when we think of the God of the Bible. Zach, you have any thoughts, questions you want to throw in there before we call this one to a close?
I'm doing good so far.
Sweet. Okay, so with that, this is deism. In the next video, we're going to break out further into monotheism. deism being one maybe element, the other being just theism, and what those religions are. We'll see you there. God bless.